Your phone rings. You see the name. You know exactly who it is. But instead of answering, you stare at it, waiting, hoping it stops. And when it finally goes to voicemail, you feel relief. Then you text them. "Hey, sorry I missed your call. What's up?" Sound familiar? But here's the real question. Why do some people have no problem with phone calls while others would rather do anything else? Is it rudeness, anxiety, or maybe something much deeper? Stick with me, because what you discover might explain why you've been avoiding calls your entire life. We live in a world where communication is endless. Texts, emails, voice notes, video calls. But for some reason, the simple phone call feels like the hardest one. You can write paragraphs in a text. You can record a 5-minute voice note. But ask you to have a live conversation? Anxiety spikes. And before people judge you as antisocial or rude, understand this: your phone call avoidance isn't about being difficult, it's psychological. Let me break down the 4 types of phone call haters and what's actually happening in their mind. Type 1, the ambush avoider. For these people, phone calls feel like a trap. Think about it. A text gives you time. You can read it, think about your response, edit it, make sure it sounds right. But a phone call? It's live, unscripted, unpredictable. You don't know what they want, you don't know how long it will take, you don't know if it's good news or bad news. Psychologists call this control anxiety. These people need to feel prepared, and phone calls take that away. They can't pause the conversation to think. They can't reread what was said. They have to respond in real time, and that pressure feels overwhelming. It's not that they don't want to talk to you, it's that they don't want to be caught off guard. For them, texting isn't laziness, it's protection, a way to stay in control of the conversation instead of feeling ambushed by it. Type 2, the word perfectionist. These people hate phone calls because they can't take back what they say. In a text, they can type, delete, retype, make sure every word is exactly right. But on a call, once it's out, and that terrifies them. What if they say something wrong? What if they sound stupid? What if they stumble over their words? What if there's an awkward silence? Psychologists link this to performance anxiety. For them, every phone call feels like being on stage. They're hyper-aware of how they sound, their tone, their pauses, their laugh. And the fear of messing up makes the whole thing exhausting. So they avoid it, not because they're shy, but because they care too much about getting it right. And texting lets them be perfect. Phone calls don't. Type 3, the multitask prisoner. For this type, phone calls are a prison. They lock you into one thing. You can't scroll, you can't watch something, you can't work on another task. You just have to sit there and talk. And for people whose brains are used to constant stimulation, that feels unbearable. Psychologists call this attention fragmentation. Their brain has been trained to do multiple things at once: texting while watching TV, working while listening to music, scrolling while eating. But a phone call demands full attention, and giving full attention to one thing, that's hard. It's not that they don't care about the conversation, it's that their brain doesn't know how to function in single task mode anymore. So phone calls feel slow, restrictive, inefficient. They'd rather text because it fits into their multitasking life. A phone call doesn't. Type 4, the unscripted anxious. These people don't hate talking, they hate talking without preparation. In texts, they control the narrative. They decide when to respond, what to say, how to say it. But phone calls, completely unscripted, and that lack of control triggers deep anxiety. What if they ask something I don't know how to answer? What if the conversation goes somewhere uncomfortable? What if I can't think of what to say and it gets awkward? Psychologists call this social scripting anxiety. These people feel safe when they can plan their words, but phone calls are spontaneous, unpredictable, raw. And for someone who needs structure, that's terrifying. So they avoid calls not because they dislike people, but because they dislike the uncertainty that comes with real-time conversation. So here's what all four types have in common. They're not being rude, they're not antisocial, they're protecting themselves from a form of communication that their brain finds stressful. The ambush avoider needs control. The word perfectionist needs precision. The multitask prisoner needs flexibility. The unscripted anxious needs predictability. None of them are wrong, they're just wired differently. And in a world that offers dozens of ways to communicate, why should the phone call be the default? But here's the real question. Does avoiding phone calls make you less connected, or does it mean you found a way to communicate that actually works for your brain? Maybe phone call haters aren't the problem. Maybe the problem is we've been told that real connection only happens live, when sometimes the most thoughtful conversations happen in text. So which one are you? The ambush avoider, the word perfectionist, the multitask prisoner, or the unscripted anxious? Drop a comment, let me know. And tell us, when was the last time you actually answered a phone call? If this made you think differently, hit subscribe. We dive deep into the psychology that actually explains people.